Okay, so we've mastered all of the rules of the angle basics, so we need to take it to the next level to start accessing the more difficult questions on the GCSE paper. And the first set of rules there are around angles which involve parallel lines. So here we can see I've got the top line and the bottom line are parallel. They're normally marked with an arrow on them to show that they run side by side like train tracks. And similarly here I've got parallel lines. So we're going to look for corresponding angles. We should be able to see straight away that there's some angles in there which are equal. So if we have a look at this angle marked here in red, we should be able to see that there's another angle on this shape which is identical to that one, and that's going to be this one down here. And let's just have a look at why. So I've just cut out that angle, marked it in red, and it's on this little piece of paper here. And we should be able to see that that angle there, the red one, takes up that entire amount of turn, that entire angle. I'm just going to move that down, and hopefully we should see that all I've done is I've shifted that angle down here, and when I line it up, it should exactly fit into that space there. So corresponding angles are equal because they've just been shifted down the page. So here we can see corresponding angles are equal, and it's really helpful for us to mark out what kind of shape we would expect to see for corresponding angles, and the one that contains those two red lines, those two red angles, I'm just going to mark out here. And we should see that looks like the armpits of two branches of an F. So corresponding angles are equal. Notice that there are other corresponding angles here. So if I marked in my blue angle there, that would correspond to a blue angle here. Why? Well, here I can mark in, I've got an upside down F. Here, if I mark in green, this green angle here and this green angle here would be corresponding because I've also got an F shape here. So corresponding angles are equal. We've got an F shape. It could be like that. It could be like that. It could be like that. All of those are corresponding, so we just need to watch out for F shapes, whether they're upside down or whether they're back to front. The second rule is looking at alternate angles. And alternate angles, here I should see that this angle here, my red angle, is going to be equal to my red angle down here. And let's just have a look at why that is. So there you can see I've marked over that angle with red on a piece of paper. If I rotate that round, I'm going to turn it round, and we should be able to see that it would fit exactly on the red down there. I've got rotational symmetry as I just rotate this red around onto the red down here. So again, I can say alternate angles are equal, and the shape I'm looking for here I've got a Z shape. Those are my two angles. Now be careful, the one that people often miss is there's another pair of alternate angles. Here and here I've also got what looks like a stretched back to front Z. So here again I've also got alternate angles. It's still a kind of Z shape, but it's very, very stretched out. So we're looking for F's for corresponding angles and Z for alternate angles, and in both cases they're equal. And in both cases we need to know the names of the angles. F shape and Z shape would not give you the mark on a GCSE. You need to make sure that you use the words alternate if it's the Z one, or corresponding if it's the F one. Pause the video and just take down those two shapes and the two rules, please, for me. Okay, we're going to do one example together. This is a lovely little question which was the second last question on a foundation calculator paper a couple of years ago, and it asked you to find angle x, giving reasons for every stage of your answer. Now, it's a really tricky one, and the reason why it's really tricky is because it asks you to just fill in the bits you know. It is not obvious until you start filling things in that you are getting any closer to finding the missing angle. But let's try and do what we can. So the first thing I'm thinking is, what can I do with this 42-degree angle here? Does it tell me about any other angles? Well, yes it does, because I've got an X shape, so I can say that this angle over here must be the same. It is a vertically opposite angle. So I'm going to just call that 1, and I'm going to write in that that is 42 degrees. So 1 equals 42 degrees, reason being vertically opposite angles are equal. Okay, well, is there anything more that I could do with my 42? Well, hopefully there'll be some eagle-eyed people amongst you who will have seen that you've got a Z shape. I've got a parallel line here and a parallel line here, so I'm looking for some rules which involve parallel lines. I'm just going to mark out what that Z shape looks like. It comes down here, includes the 42, and then comes down here. So the angle which must be the same as 42 is this angle down here. So angle 2 is also going to be 42 degrees. So 2 equals 42 degrees because alternate angles are equal. Well, I can't find x yet because I've got angles in a triangle here, but I don't know this angle. But wait a second, I should be able to find that angle, because I know that this angle here is 85 degrees, so this angle here, which is on the straight line, must be 180 take away 85. So 3 equals 180 take away 85, which is 95 degrees. And the reason why is because I've got two angles on a straight line. So I've got 95 degrees here, 42 degrees here. Just to find x, I'm going to use this triangle here. So x equals 180, take away 95, take away 42, which is 43 degrees. And the rule that I used to do that was my triangle here. Angles in a triangle add to 180 degrees. And the reason why this was such a difficult question is because we've learnt 6 rules so far, and I've used 4 of them to try and get to my answer there of x equals 43 degrees. That was a 5-mark question, and it's quite possible for that to be the difference between getting a 4 and a 5 in your GCSE. Pause the video, take down the worked example, and then we'll give you some questions to try yourselves. Okay, so here are 4 questions for you to try. Please make sure you do draw down the shape. You can't do this without having a drawing in front of you. And just try and fill in any bits you can in order, making sure that in a couple of questions, in 3 of the questions in fact, you've got isosceles triangles, so making sure that you recognise that the base angles in the isosceles triangle are going to be equal. So make sure you've got your line of symmetry drawn in, and you know that this angle and this angle are going to be the same. Okay, good luck, pause the video, and when you're ready for solutions, press unpause. Okay, so here are your 4 questions. So first one, you used your straight line to find out this was 44. These two must be equal, so they're both equal to 68, and then you've got an alternate angle tells you that x is equal to 68 here. For the second one, you can use vertically opposite to find that this is 48, and corresponding to find this is 77. Use your triangle then, find this is 55. We've got 76 here from the alternate, You know this isosceles, so this must be 28. 180 minus 28 give you 152. Give yourself a mark out of 4.